game-changing power of commitment. What is commitment, and how do we really get to lean into committed action to create the result that you want to experience? So I love talking about commitment, and today it's awesome because I literally was speaking into and coaching into it this morning with my clients, and then I got to experience another opportunity where what was showing up in my clients in the morning was what also showed up in the afternoon, and it was just, it's so beautiful in all these different spaces in these different rooms, how again there's that common theme, but also to see two different perspectives on what that looks like, right? And what I was hearing from my clients when they were declaring something, right, like setting an intention of a commitment for growing their business. When I leaned into asking them if they were committed to creating that result, right? So amount of people on their email list, amount of people coming to their webinar, the amount of people that they're going to roll into their coaching business. What came up, and what was also mentioned in the afternoon, this afternoon, was that's out of our control. And here I'm going to ask you the question is it really? When we are truly committed to the outcome, to the thing that we say we're going to create, are we fully in control? Or is it out of our control? And I think this is a beautiful discussion to have, because in leadership, and when you work on leadership, and when you work on neurohacking your productivity and neurohacking results, your thoughts create your reality, and you're the creator of your thoughts. 100% is possible, 100% of the time. If it's up to be, it's up to me. And so when you set the powerful intention of the result, of the thing that you want to create, and you are 100% responsible for this, let me ask the question, is it out of your control? Right? So I'll share with you an example, right? So an example would be, we're in the process of updating an amazing quiz for Peak, and it's going to really support you in identifying your next steps with your website. And I've committed to having 10 people complete the quiz by November 19th, right? So I've set the intention, I think it's by 5 p.m. PST, November 19th, I'm committed that the quiz will be live, and I have 10 people filled it out. Now, one thing I want to lean into is one of the reasons why I declare not just having the quiz complete, because it's really easy to say we're going to have things complete, but then it could just sit there and it becomes another checklist, another to-do. Versus, in order for my quiz to actually mean something, make an impact, actually do the thing, make the impact and actually be used in the way that it has been built, people get to complete it. Because I'm not helping anybody, right? If nobody completes the quiz, then no one's getting help. And the whole purpose of this is to be able to help people with their websites and support them in their next steps and their next decisions so they can increase their authentic visibility. So if I just said, all right, I'm going to complete the quiz, that's great. Quiz is completed. But it's not actually really doing anything, right? Therefore, I added that commitment of having 10 people complete it by November 19th. And side note, if you want the quiz, let me know, and I will share that to you as soon as it is live. And I'm committed, and that was what someone said to me. But that's out of your control, and is it? I love for you to even think about this. Like, is it out of my control if I've declared 10 people? Now, those of you that are in leadership and have done coaching and transformation understand when we say 100% is possible 100% of the time. If it's up to be, it's up to me, and I'm committed to this because I've set this declaration, that means when we look at commitment, I get to be whoever I get to be to create that result, right? And so then this unpacks a little bit more around productivity in terms of prioritization of time, right? Looking at prioritizing working on the quiz, prioritizing connection, right? And so that becomes the priority. The second part of that is really breaking things down. Because yes, creating a quiz, there's multiple components to it. So it is breaking it down, right? And looking at those intentions and ensuring that the process is moving forward. And then being committed to that outcome, right? That's where you're leaning to urgency to create that. And so I think it's really important when we look at commitment and we really look at what's coming up, right? If we look at when we say we're going to do something or we declare something and then we don't follow through, right? Oftentimes as a coach, like myself, when I look at this, there's a breakdown, right? There's like, are you really committed, right? That's the question I start to ask, where I start to unpack like what's underneath that, right? Beliefs and things like that. And that's why that belief of, and this is what I'm saying, like this came up, I don't know, I think 5 or 6 times today, where it's like the belief is it's out of my control. And that's the thing. If you believe it's out of your control, you're going to create out of your control results. But if you are committed to being whoever you get to be, and right, and that comes from a decision. So if I decide to be committed, then my actions that precede that commitment are going to link to the results I'm going to create, which is the result of the commitment I made. let me go through that again, right? When I commit to something, I make that commitment. So based on that commitment, I get to be that person. I get to show up as that person. I now get to take the action behind that commitment that's going to lead me to create the outcome, the result, the goal, the dream, whatever it is, that's linked to the commitment I made. And when we make commitments, when we look at a result, we want to be we want to be really clear on what it is, right? And so going back to my example, right? Committed to having the quiz live with 10 people who have completed it, right? It's really clear. I know exactly what I get to focus on and work on. And there is that measurable piece, right? So we can track the progress along the way and then be committed to that. And this is where I often find I mean, that where a lot of people fall short, right? Is that they declare something, but then they don't make the result. Now, when you're committed to that and it's clear in what is you're going after, clear in the thing that you're working on, right? Again, you get to lean into that possibility, right? And I mean, this, I feel like this could be a whole other life of like where I can unpack so many angles of this. But where I really wanted to go with this today is just leaning into commitment, right? And where are you saying that you're committed to something and you're not following through, right? What's coming up? What's the story? Because that's where I really wanted to go when like I said, I heard it like 5 or 6 times today that it's out of my control. Now here, if you make a declaration and the thought that follows that is this is out of my control, my question to you is, are you ever going to create the results that you declare if you believe it's out of your control? I'm assuming you're going to say the answer is no, right? Because of course you're not, right? Because you're letting it, it's allowing something that's outside of you. And what I want to lean into is I want to remind you, you are capable 100% is possible 100% of the time. If it's up to be, it's up to you. You can create it if you are committed. And so I'd love for you to share, in the chat, of course, things that you're committed to creating. Of course, I would always invite to be clear on what's your buy when for this, right? To create that urgency, create a little bit of rigor around that so that you can go out and create it. And then just pay attention to the brain, because the brain's job is to keep you in the safe and familiar. And I guarantee if you're in my sphere, right, you're a high achiever and you've got big goals and big dreams. And so by being really specific and clear on what that is, right, you're going to get into committed action and your brain's going to want to keep you safe, right? So be curious, pay attention, lean into what's going on in your brain that's going to try and keep you where you are, right? And look at, and I'm actually going to drop a link to a podcast episode about comfort over commitment, because this is another big thing that ends up coming up when we are looking at declaring commitments and we find ourselves choosing comfort, even though that's not the thing that we want, but that's what's safe and familiar, even though it's actually probably uncomfortable. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to drop the link to that episode because it's a fantastic episode to lean into this a little bit more. And to just know and trust in yourself and believe in yourself that when you declare something, that it's possible. right? When you declare something, that's possible. When you declare something and you're committed to it, it's already done. It's already done. And now it's just a matter of you, right? Every day, recommitting to your commitment, making the decisions, taking the action that's going to drive the result of the commitment that you made. All right. I love to hear in the chat, like what's landing for you, what you're hearing me say, what's coming up for you with commitment, because this is a big topic. And if there's anything, like I said, I could have branched off in many different directions on this live, and my intention is always to keep this as close to 10 minutes as possible. So I'd love to hear from you. Send me DMs, drop in the comment, where you'd like to go further, if you would like to jump on a call with me, so we can have a conversation about what's coming up for you with commitment and how I can support you to neurohack your productivity and be unleashed and unstoppable as the irresistible leader that you are.